Hello, this is my summary for the Letter from a Producer Live, part 78 on the 29th of July 2023, broadcast live on stage from FanFest Las Vegas 2023. Focusing majoritively on 6.5, then this particular live letter is the first part of two live letters planned to look at 6.5 content. The patch title for 6.5 then straight away is called Growing Light. Yoshi P says in Japanese this title is also said to have a secret 0 written in it. Implications then, lots of them. 6.5 will be split into two patches then, the first of which is set to release this October. They say if all goes to plan, early October will happen. There's no actual date though. Part 2 of the patch will come out mid-January 2024, so we don't have too long to wait for this. They show the schedule then going forward, all being well. This includes dates for FanFest and the scenario patch drops. They say lots of information leading towards Dawn Trail's release with 7.0 next year will drop between these dates, as you would imagine. Content of 6.5 then includes the obvious 6.5 MSQ, or at least the first part of it, dividing this to patches, with January's being 6.55 then in January, with the continuation and finalization. Screenshots are shown then, first which is Y'shtola next to a dragon, obviously Vitra in Radzat Han. They don't want to give anything away here, and that's a very good idea. And a second screenshot with Reen on the first in the Crystarium, so perhaps we found a way to get back. Further elaborated on that point is because 0 is clearly standing on the first. Interesting, maybe there is a portal through after all. 6.55 then will see the addition of the Endwalker Tribal Alliance quest. This is the Tribe Alliance's fully combined quest. They haven't done one of these for a very long time, and finally they are back. This means you need to finish all of the tribal quests for all of the 3 tribes in Endwalker. So obviously there are some screenshots here, just 2 of them, again giving nothing away. We've got Leporitz DJing on the moon. And we also have the Leporitz meeting the Arcus Adora here. Of course, they don't mention any of the rewards yet. That'll probably be in the next live letter, but yeah, I can't wait for this personally. Totaru's Grand Endeavors gets a continuation in 6.55 then in January. There are actually screenshots, but deliberately they made this almost comically as vague as possible. So these pictures, and Yoshi P was laughing throughout, so who knows what to expect. It doesn't really say much. 6.55 also includes the Hildebrand continuation. There are screenshots of this, of a surprised Hildebrand with Branderhild, and Yoshida-san wonders if Branderhild is related to the Greats he mentions. Very high likelihood. The weapon enhancement then also comes in 6.55. This only has a couple of screenshots, first with Godbert and Geralt working hard here with a new material. And something strange is happening to Godbert in this other picture, which I'm sure we'll be very eager to find out what's happening. 6.55 also continues the Splendorous Tools, which they show 2 screenshots of. Make of those what you will. Yoshi P says this is somewhat reminiscent of what's happening on our world, so maybe fates do align and history will repeat itself twice. Battle content time then. The brand new dungeon of 6.5 is known as the Lunar Subterrane, or as it's described very vaguely as the Moon Underground. Yoshi P asks then, well, which moon is that? We do have a lot of shards. Here's a hint. And then they show this screenshot. Yoshi P then says to focus on the blocks down there. Yoshi P feels that you may have thought in a place with floors like that before somewhere. And I quote, this is another dungeon where the scenery changes partway through, so look forward to that, end quote. Very cool, exciting, can't wait to see that. Obviously, new trials included in 6.5 then. They show a screenshot. We actually saw this at the end of 6.4 storyline, if you've kept up. It will be named the Abyssal Fracture, where you face Zeramus on normal and extreme mode difficulty. Very excited to see Zeramus in 6.4, the continuation of that in 6.5, and of course seeing him outside of the other game and then 14. Holy moly. There's also another Unreal trial. This time it's going to be Thordan and the Knights 12. This is obviously the Singularity Reactor Unreal coming in 6.5. They say it should be quite fun. Foxclon doubts that. He hated the fight by the looks of it and is worried. I'm not surprised. I joined Foxclon with that one. I don't really like Thordan, especially synchronized. Holy moly. New Alliance raid then. Mists of the Realm Part 3 is named Thalia. That's how they pronounced it. Yoshi P says they have some of their newer staff members at Square Enix working on the Alliance raid and are very excited to work on it. That's awesome stuff. The raids have been great so far, in my opinion, and if that's the work that they're capable of, then I'm very, very impressed personally. Screenshots then, there's 2 pictures, very interesting ones. Such a variety of locations, beautiful lighting in both of them, and that's before the graphics update, of course. This is just running on the normal engine. And that concludes the story and raids for the 6.x Alliance raids, so I'm sure that'll be fun. System updates then. This includes duty support for the entirety of Stormblood, finally completed. This includes the Drowned City of Scala, the Burn, and Gimlet Dark, and that brings their goal of all of the dungeons in the entire game with full duty support for the main storyline. So you can go from A Realm Reborn all the way through to current day with AI, which is really cool. They laugh at how long this has taken to do, but how good it feels to have finally done it all, and I bet it does. It feels really good in the game, personally, as an option. Especially with all of the new free trial players that will be coming, because Stormblood is included as of 6.5 all the way up to level 70. That means the playability, regardless of background or time zones or whatever, or whoever you want to play with, you'll still be able to enjoy the storyline. And with some of the characters in the duty support that have been included here, especially Arenvold is mentioned and shown, which is sure to bring the idea of closeness of Arenvold's character with the Warrior of Light and Alphino here into the actual game. A lot of this is just in side stories that mention this, but it's going to be nice to see that bonding in the game. 6.55 features a third variant and Criterion dungeon. This is known as Alo Island. I think that's how you say that, and that's the setting. It's featuring normal, i.e. the variant mode, and Criterion Savage. You will be accompanied with the NPC Matsya to the island, and this is a beautiful tropical island. It looks like a really beautiful tribal island. I cannot wait to dip my toe in that water, hopefully, and explore. I do like my variant modes, very cool, and there's a guide on the channel for the latest one in 6.4 if you wanted to go and do that for all 12 routes. Screenshots aside then, we've got job adjustments then for PvE and for PvP. PvE, just a quick mention, there won't be any major overhauls before 7.0 as you would imagine, but there will be minor tweaks to DPS potency numbers probably. For PvP, Series 5 will begin, which is just all of PvP, so expect some new rewards from that. But for the season, i.e. ranked, there will apparently be no changes to the season in 6.5. Season 8 then, the ranked once again, will run from patch 5.48, which launches on the 8th of August, until 6.51. The reason for this is that the regionals of the EU FanFest Crystalline Conflict are taking place all the way through EU FanFest as well, and they don't want to change stuff between the championships, so ranked is not being changed and no balancing will take place. But yes, very excited for the new series rewards. Crystalline Conflict is getting updates, however. Minimap and the UI updates are being added. They want to share more interesting details on the next PLL about that, but they are changed based on feedback to make it much easier to see. A new map is being debuted with 6.5 then to be added, called the Red Sands. As you can see with this screenshot, we're in a desert now with some very interesting mechanics, presumably wind or sand based. Very cool. Island Sanctuary is getting updated in 6.5 with new ranks and visions, as well as a new area they mentioned, and Gathering in the Wilds. Lots of new materials, craftables, structures, handicrafts, and more. There's a screenshot of a brand new structure, which looks like a landmark, very classical in design, they say. Beautiful stained glass, almost from Ishgard or something, and lots of new animals to capture. An example here with this picture of a Morbol, which is sure to be a disaster to capture. More updates for Island Sanctuary include Felicitous Favors. This is actually unlocked with the completion of 6.5's progression of the island. This opens up new quests for specific handicraft productions. When you ship these items specifically, you'll yield special tokens, which you'll be able to trade for brand new rewards, be that cosmetic or whatever. Very excited to see new incentives to do something other than the cookie cutter. This gives you the most profit. That's going to be a completely different overhaul of how that works if you want the new rewards. Gold Saucer Fall Guys collaboration update is in 6.5x then. No current date yet. This was announced yesterday at the keynote at Las Vegas Fan Fest. They will share more info on this at other times, but it's looking pretty epic, and they plan to do a trailer for that at a later time. Miscellaneous Updates then, part of the live letter, new custom deliveries. This lady, if you remember them, this is the workaholic character Margaret in Old Sharlayan. They chose Margaret specifically apparently because she's apparently very extreme work-wise. This was due to the development team's personal preferences reflecting the workaholic nature through her, which is a bit of a yikes, but I'm sure that'll be quite funny to play through. They will add consecutive ethereal reduction function for collectibles, so that makes collectible ethereal reduction a lot quicker. That's good. Fish guide is being updated to get those green indicators for newly logged fish, which is nice and easier to track. There is the ability to store optional items in the armoire. Now, that's a huge one. More things added to the armoire, the better. The more things we can store for glamour, the better, in my opinion. Probably one of the best slides in the entirety of this live letter, and it gets better with that final note on item level restrictions for Duty Roulette Alliance. The raid will now be based on level. So finally, no more item level cheese and only seeing bloody Circus Tower. Thank goodness for that. There's so many Alliance raids in the game. It'd be nice to play more than just the bloody Crystal Tower ones, wouldn't it? So more miscellaneous updates then. There will be a new option to sort teleport destinations by expansion. This can be enabled from the teleport settings menu UI. There will actually be a brand new mount for getting all of the trial mounts in 6.x, which they show this. It's a beautiful, almost looks a little bit like Bahamut Zero, but it's probably not, style dragon. Holy crap, that's nice. You actually sit on this comfy chair and the dragon picks it up. Apparently this is modelled after a piece of pixel art from the legendary Yoshitaka Amano. So I am very excited to see that in the game as the final reward. I do have to, get collecting those mounts though. I have none of them. 6.5 will expand the free trial, as was mentioned previously, to include level 70 and all of Stormblood. They're very excited about that. And then finally, we've got the announcements then. They show the mount you can get on the cash shop. We did a full video on this with the store update. If you want to check that out, visit the channel. Also on the channel is the Advent of Light emote 2, which they also want to talk about, and the fantastic cheer set. Also the same video covers this. Lots of lovely new cool emotes. The orchestrion sets for both the Eorzean Symphony and the second part of the Pulse album music available for your orchestrion in the game. Very cool music. Love the Pulse album. And there's a brand new arrangement album in real life on sale for pre-order, and you actually get some orchestrion rolls for pre-ordering that. Pre-orders for this new turntable are up there if you're into that. Apparently it's high-end. I'm not so sure. I don't know any details about DJ equipment. You let me know below. And some pre-orders for some new art to put on your wall. I say new, but these were actually previously exclusive only to Japan, but not anymore. So if you wanted to get these and you didn't want to deal with import costs, you don't have to worry anymore. Apparently there are 25 pieces of art you can select from. They come in these beautiful frames and you can put them up on your home walls if you want to. And finally, they mentioned the 10th anniversary continues of Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. They will update with many more events and opportunities throughout the year. So to be sure to check the special site that they launched recently quite often. So far, we've had sweepstakes, we've had events, we've had art contests, you name it. It will probably happen, but that's pretty much wrapping up the letter from the producer live for today on the 29th of July 2023. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, and hopefully I covered everything that you wanted to know. If you did find all of that information useful, please consider pressing the like button and subscribing. Those numbers would be lovely if they went up. It means a lot and pushes my content around the world. I wouldn't normally mention it, but apparently I kind of have to these days. So there we go. Much love. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy FanFest, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.